Nicol, ominous.
Don't call it a comeback.
Took a deflection off the paint, but Rudy Nicol has had his say. This is the start of dreams for Heart.
We now cross live to Derek McInnes for his comments. Derek?
One's the worst.
Our ball, we're going home.
So yeah, that was Derek McInnes there, latest from his post-match.
An exclusive interview for We Have No Cares. I'm actually quite pleased. That was a coup.
Yeah, delighted by that one. Yeah.
We Have No Cares. We are a Heart of Midlothian podcast. I am Nicol Hay,
and I am Robert Borthwick.
Yes, we're just the two of us today to bring you the hot reaction from every good thing the Scottish Cup has brought us over the last few days.
Good Lord, what a few 72 hours it's been.
It's been a roller coaster of emotion.
Hasn't it just? A big happy emotion though.
Yeah.
It's my favourite kind of emotion.
Well, let's start at 5:30 PM on Saturday and roll right through it.
Bog roll right through it if you're an Aberdeen fan.
Yeah,
they're bringing back the mid-noughties. They're not quite as nostalgic as they were before. They've gone back to the whole bog roll thing, which they did like when they were absolutely appalling through the noughties.
I never thought about it before, but was that like some sort of like metaphorical protest that they were making about the state of their team in the mid-noughties?
I don't know. I think they maybe just knew what their team was going to produce on the day. So they're like, right, we've done this before.
Yeah, here you go, Derek. Wipe this up.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so the big news pre-game was the exciting solid formation.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it excited me because, as I've said before on this podcast, I am a big fan of the patented Jim Jeffries hybrid 4-4-2, one winger, unbalanced, three central midfielders, stodge it up but attack when you can.
Yeah.
Glory, and that's what we had, Robert.
We did, and we had Arnaud Djoum sort of as the thrust, the box to box, if you will.
Miguel Pallardo was the anchor.
He was indeed, and Prince Brabin was the man on the right.
The shuttler.
Yes, indeed. The Callum Patterson support, or if you will, the Gavin Riley support. He just did everything.
Just the support.
All action, Prince.
My emotional support.
Absolutely. And
Gets me through the day.
And then we had Blasey Augustine playing as a box to box as well. Just doing his own fucking. I love him. He's like G.I. Joe. He just fires off. Oh, that fuck, he's great.
Everyone was running. There was a lot of running in that team.
So much energy. I mean, that's the closest I've seen us to. The closest I've seen us this season to how we performed last season. Just endless energy.
I'm pretty sure I saw Neil Alexander making a support sprint at one point.
Probably, yeah. It happened, and it's the closest I've seen us play to how we did last season. We didn't tire. I mean, Gavin Riley, I think, had to be sort of carted off the pitch at the end because he'd put that much into the game. It was wonderful from start to finish.
No,
especially the finish, but we'll get to that.
We certainly will. Right. So let's lavish a bit of individual praise first. Then before we hit some of the moments of the match. We managed to get our four best defenders into our back four, which was nice. I was maybe a little trepidatious about putting Igor back out to left back, seeing how brilliant he's been at centre half in recent weeks. And while he was okay in left back in his first few appearances this season, he wasn't. The heather remained unscorched.
Yes.
It was completely intact. But he was wonderful on Saturday.
He was, and I think if we're talking about Rossi, we have to talk about Patterson as well, because if we're talking about Aberdeen, you're talking about Hayes and McGinn. And those guys were on the wings, and they swapped
That was quite a journey, but you took me on it, and I'm glad we arrived at a point that I understood.
Yeah,
right.
they swapped so many times that you can't say, oh, it was Rossi versus McGinn, it was Rossi versus Hayes. Both the fullbacks were absolutely superb. Patterson could fly up the right because Rossi is not an attacking minded player. He was always going to stay sort of as an anchor at the back alongside Augustine and Ozturk. But yeah, the way that he was so calm in defending. Hayes and McGinn are total live wires, but he would just pluck the ball off them, play the easy pass, and then go back to his wee cave at left back, and he just no one was allowed outside his cave or even inside it.
But still,
it was a very secure cave.
Yes.
Igor Rossi kept.
My favourite type.
Yeah.
But even then, like when he did have room or the inclination to get forward, he combined really well with sort of short passes with Nicholson and things like that, and moved his way forward. It was like watching a slow-mo version of the McHattie Nicholson golden days.
Yeah, I think it's just the balance that was struck was absolutely bang on the cash, because you've got Nicholson in front of a defensive fullback, you've got Boabin in front of a attacking fullback, and that just allows so much
interchange, like overlapping, like one player takes the responsibility, the other player supports, and vice versa. Yes,
exactly. And you've got the tracking back and the work rate of Nicholson as well to help Rossi. And just the whole back line was absolutely flawless on the day, really. Aberdeen weren't allowed any great chances apart from one for Rooney in the second half, and Considine, but I'm still convinced he was offside for his absolute sitter.
Considine made several fuck ups in that game.
He's just one big fuck up.
Yes. It's glorious that like a quite decent Aberdeen team are still carrying a player like Andrew Considine.
I know, right? Yeah. And Willow Flood didn't touch the ball until he twanged his hammy for the 90th time in his career.
Like I say, I was saying to Pilch, I think he actually just got hit with the crushing realisation that he is Willow Flood and this is his actual life.
I think it probably hit
Maybe
Aberdeen.
He caught his reflection somewhere.
It probably
sort of went, who's that ghoul? Oh my god!
It probably hit Aberdeen about the same time as Piardo hit Flood, that Willow Flood is their hard man. He's their scary man in the midfield.
Well, he's half there.
Yep. It was back line. Sorry, that's where we were.
Yeah. Well,
we're just flowing effortlessly here throughout the team. But yeah.
Well, like we've covered Igor, we've covered Patterson with his flying raids. Shall we slather a bit on Boisier and Dushturk?
I want to make the point now, and I don't know if you have any counter argument to this. That is the most handsome centre-half pairing that we have ever had at Heart of Midlothian Football Club. Ali Mosturk's got his hair back and his wee beard. Boisier Augustine just oozes sex appeal.
I don't know, Levine and Hogg were
Oh!
That's a lie!
That is a lie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Paul Ritchie and Davey Weir? Yeah, seriously, I think I'm right. I don't think anyone will disagree with me.
It's very difficult to deny it at all. Like Presley had some rugged charm about him, but we've not had anyone with the continental grip. That said, actually, when Gonçalves played centre half at times, he was a very good looking man.
That's true, alongside the strong jawline of Marius Aliukas as well. No, I can see that, but they're not even close. I mean, Adam Rooney must have thought he was coming up against an Abercrombie and Fitch catalogue Saturday. With Callum Patterson on the right as well.
He's got really surprised when we looked down. They weren't wearing chinos.
Callum Patterson is Jack Wills as fuck. But yeah, aside from their incredible looks, Ozturk looked like he hadn't missed a game this season. He just slid right in there, and he was
night and day from his performance in his previous outing against Dundee United.
Absolutely, he looked so calm, so assured. It was the Ali Ozturk that we saw last season.
Yeah,
the one that outshone Danny Wilson, the one that could take it down under pressure, find easy pass. It maybe frustrates some people that he just passes it to Rossi or passes it to Patterson. But that's why we've got the absolute nutcase that is Boisier Augustine, because he'll just fire forward.
Well, that was it. It was the culmination of the Aleem that we saw in pre-season working alongside Boisier. Like the one that sort of went, right, he's the nutter now. I've got to be the one that sits back.
I'll screw this nut of mine, and I will be absolutely dandy. But I think it also helps that we've got basically our captain and vice captain playing together at centre half.
Yeah,
there's a lot of leadership in that backline now as well. Patterson doesn't shirk away from anything. Igor Rossi is vocal enough. Certainly, I was sitting right down the bottom of section Z, and Igor Rossi is quite a loud man.
Excellent.
Doesn't really speak much of the Queen's, but he certainly gets his point across. And yeah, just having a very organised, very vocal, very competitive backline. Nothing was getting past them. It was a joy.
And we touched upon it briefly, but Miguel Piardo back and looking a lot more like Miguel Piardo.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people, including myself, were slightly worried when we saw his inclusion, but it made sense seeing as Gomez was still suspended because of his red card last year against Celtic.
We had 0 central midfielders on the bench.
Oh, we had none. Yeah.
Not one.
Not even one. Imagine we had to play Ustour Cup there.
Unfortunately, Miguel was able to see it through like the absolute fucking pro he is.
Oh, what a pro he is. You touched on it before we started recording, and I'm maybe coming slightly more round to your way of thinking. He didn't start the game excellently. It was maybe caught a wee bit by the pace of Shinnie.
Definitely.
It was a foul on Shinnie that got him his yellow card.
When he was done for pace all ends up.
Yes, and I think it's widely down to his reaction that Graham Shinnie was non-existent until he was put at left back,
Yeah.
where he continued to be non-existent. That's the worst I've ever seen Graham Shinnie play. He was fucking awful. Absolutely, he was anonymous, and that's because Payardo had his number straight away. He kicked him, yeah, he got a yellow card, yeah, but then he knew exactly what Shinnie was going to do every time. The amount of times that Payardo dispossessed, found the easy pass inside to Doom, or even trying to find the channels for Riley or so, it was fantastic, and that's the Miguel Payardo that we saw last season. And I think that if he can do it consistently at that level, then he's an absolute must sign for a new contract.
Definitely. I think my only concern about him when we were sort of in this period of flux where he wasn't quite fit and we hadn't really seen whether or not he could actually play at this level was that maybe his pace would expose him against like quality Premiership opponents. But like you said, once he played his way into the game, you saw his game intelligence, which is just so high for this division.
Yeah.
Meant that he was easily just moving to the right places before he was required.
You look at that Aberdeen midfield. It started as Flood, Shinnie, McLean.
Yeah.
And then it went to Pollitt, McLean, and it was just Pollitt and McLean actually.
Yeah. Well, eventually they went 4-4-2 when Goodwillie came on.
Yeah. So I mean there's no slouches in there. These are all fast guys. These are all intelligent footballers. Aberdeen midfield, on occasions this season, has been an absolute joy to watch because they move it so quickly. Payardo's positioning, which we know is one of his strengths, and his ability to read the game, saw him through it. And I don't have any doubt in my mind now that he's good enough at this level.
Absolutely.
I have no doubt in my mind.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Prince Boabin was excellent in the sort of shuttling role.
I thought he was great. It's definitely not his strongest position.
No.
I think that's maybe if we're going to persist with that formation, could maybe do with a player.
I've got an idea, Rob.
A player, maybe a diabetic footballer who's not getting much game time for his current team.
God, does anyone fit that bill? Is there anyone that maybe their parent club would feel inclined to loan him to us just in order to get it right up both the club that he used to play for and the club that wanted to sign him?
Yes.
Yes, there is, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
Wouldn't it be delightful if we could get Scott Allen on loan to fill out our midfield?
It really would, mainly for the huge amount of butthurt that would come from Hibs and Rangers. But yeah, he would fit that formation perfectly. But being realistic, which is a shame, I don't like doing it, and it's not much like this podcast to be realistic.
No.
However,
so you're going to say Tony Cruz, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
That's probably not going to happen, but I think that formation certainly worked against Aberdeen, and if it works against one of the best teams in the league, and they are, I think they had an off day. I'm not going to lie,
they weren't at their best.
We were excellent, but they had an off day. But if that formation works against a team that can move it as quickly as Aberdeen, you're looking at St Johnstone and Ross County have those same sort of tactics. They've got the fast wingers, they've got the driving midfielders, and they've got strikers who can finish, and that's who they're ultimately trying to feed. They're the two teams behind us. Well, it's a formation that can work against a 4-2-3-1, basically.
Well, the thing about it is it brings out the strengths of all our other players, having that like sort of combo central midfielder, the role that Prince played, because it allows Gavin Riley to play off our front man, whether or not it's So or Juanma. It allows one of our wingers to stretch the play. It allows Patterson to have like the full flank to charge down. As much as I love having two wingers in the times that we've done it, when we've like seen like King and Nicholson and or Walker on form in the times when it's happened, it's difficult to get away with that against a lot of teams at this level because it does leave the midfield too exposed, and we don't have like if we had like an incredibly strong central midfield pairing, then we could get away with playing two wingers, but none of our central midfielders are so strong individually that they can be a collective as a two. Put three of them in there and we can compete with basically any midfield in the division.
I would argue that Arnold Doom could do the job of 11 men, and in fact we should just play him by himself, and that will yield positive results for Heart of Midlothian Football Club.
It's a strong tactical thought. It's an innovative tactical thought.
That's why I'm going right to the top, Nicol. Right to the top.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Straight up the ziggurat. Cool. Arnold June then.
Isn't he?
I think he is.
He's good, isn't he?
He really is.
And we get to keep him.
Wait, for ages now. Like 3 years. He's ours.
He's good, isn't he?
He's so good. He had a little bit of a dip after he signed that contract, but my God, was this a return to form?
He was phenomenal in that role. He was... his touch, his pace.
Definitely his strongest position. I mean, he can play the number 10, he can play like the holding midfielder, but this energy...
Yeah.
I'm going to get in all your faces. Every single one he is.
Y'all. Yeah. Oh my God. It was the point where, and he was running right towards me, and I really wish it had been in slow motion so I could just enjoy it even more. But Niall McGinn was winning the race, and Niall McGinn is fast as fuck. And Arnold Joom just went right past him, and won the ball before him. And that just showed his athleticism as much as anything else. That's not even looking at what he did when he actually was on the ball. When he was actually on the ball, his close control, which we saw obviously when he first signed, winning the penalty against Partick Thistle, all that kind of fun stuff, it's phenomenal. The way he can just find himself, even 2 yards of space, and he can look up, he can find a pass. I'd like to see him maybe have a wee shot on goal more often because, certainly...
He's got the technique and he's got a decent dig on him.
Certainly Aberdeen were standing off him a lot when he was coming forward. I think he was maybe a slightly unknown quantity for them. They didn't quite know how to play him. But his effort levels, his work rate, his passion, even through the 90 minutes, was just
lovely
phenomenal.
Face.
His lovely wee face, yeah, his wee pixie ears.
It's lovely.
And he's good, and we get to keep him.
All great facts.
Yep.
Sam Nicholson, much better in the first half than the second.
Yeah, he's one of these players now. I go on like Pie and Bovril board, like the message board and all that kind of stuff, and like it's interesting to see. I think we're maybe starting to take Sam for granted a wee bit.
Yeah,
because there's so many Hearts fans saying like, "Oh, you can do so much better. You can do better with that. Oh, he sort of floated in and out of the game." And I look at fans of other teams saying, "That Nicholson, by the way, oh, what a player he is," and they're all just gushing over him constantly. And yeah, I think we maybe need to take a wee step back with Sam and not expect as much as we saw like last season against Cloggers and Rangers.
He is still very, very young, which is something we can say about basically all our players. Another factor that is the fact that we've got 3 wingers, and it's quite possible that Sam's not even the best of them. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, he's just. I think we should really enjoy him while he's still here, because I think this summer, I'm not going to put a negative slant on the podcast, but this summer I think it's going to be quite difficult for us seeing some favourites leave, etc.
Yeah.
But I think we need to enjoy him while he's here, because his close control, his dribbling, his pace, his shooting, everything. He's a fantastic player.
Two-footedness.
Yeah, and
his boy band hair.
His
his high quality sleeve tattoos.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if we've got Abercrombie and Fitch at the back, we're looking at sports direct on the left wing there. But he's just so wonderful to watch it so many times, and he was getting the best of Shea Logan. I think that was actually a really fair battle between the two of them, because Logan got the better of him a few times as well. But yeah, another good performance, another outball, another way that we could release the pressure on ourselves is giving Nicholson the ball, because he rarely loses it.
A fair question, one for quite a little way down the line, after Walker finally went in for surgery that's probably been much needed for quite some time now. But when Walker is back, arguably, like in a vacuum, a better player than Sam, but do you think he would be able to do the tracking back that Sam does in that formation?
Well, I think yes, after having seen him last season. Obviously it was well documented at the start of last season that he was not first choice. Billy King and Sam Nicholson were in there. A lot of people were expecting Jamie Walker to be the man, making the difference, and he wasn't to start with. And then I think that was the rocket up his arse that he really needed, because after that, when he was playing on the wing, when he was playing in midfield, he was tracking back. His energy, his work rate was incredible, and I think he can. I think he can do that, but maybe slightly more towards him being more of a drifting number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 rather than the man out wide left in a Jim Jeffries, as we'll just keep calling it now.
JJ.
Yes.
JJ.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many JJs were in there. I really didn't think this bit through.
You didn't, but we'll gloss over it.
But,
We'll go past it.
Options, lovely. We
Indeed.
haven't even talked about Billy King, who was also pretty great.
I love Billy King.
He's great, just makes goals.
He just does. He just does.
Next player, Gavin Riley.
Gavin Riley, he was good, and I think that on the ball, this maybe wasn't his most productive evening, but I just think he's such a key to why we're playing well. He's such a key to the good things we do, because his pressing, his energy, everything about him just allows us to play football, allows us to play as a team. Because he almost, you can almost see Osman so guilted into chasing defenders down as well, because he sees Riley's just sprinted 20 yards across the line, and he thinks, oh fuck, right, okay, well, I better go and do this myself. And that allows our midfield to push up, stops them from playing football. That's where your long ball comes from, and we'll snap that up every time with the players we have.
Rarely has a player managed to turn around my opinion of him in such a short space of time as Gavin Riley has done over the last 3 games.
I called it.
You did, to be absolutely fair. But, well, to be fair, my opinion wasn't, oh, he's rubbish. My opinion was, I have no opinion of this guy. I just don't see what he's good at. I think he's quite young. I think he's going to need, a good few seasons to become who he is.
Yeah.
But then, like you called, he got a shot at his actual position, and we saw it.
Yep.
And so now, just a few games later, I'm of the opinion that our best front two is Riley and either So or Juanma.
Yeah.
Because probably in a vacuum, So and Juanma are better players than Riley.
You put a lot of things in vacuums, Nicol.
I do. It's the best way to preserve them.
Yeah.
Probably. And also, sound doesn't escape. So, you can't hear them screaming because they're in a vacuum. But the thing about So and Juanma is that while they're different styles of players, certainly different types of skills and different ways they approach the game, they're both at their most effective in similar areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
So if you're playing both of them in a partnership, logically at any one time, one of them is not playing to his best capabilities.
Yeah.
However, Riley absolutely fucking loves filling in the gaps that So and Juanma not can't, but don't prefer to fill in.
Yeah.
You've got a dynamic partnership when that happens. And only problem with that is that he is quite young, and his style of play means that he will probably need a rest every 5 or 6 games. Otherwise, he will burn himself out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. I think he's just moved into a new house. I think a good housewarming gift would be a hamster wheel, just so he can burn off that excess energy that he just always has. My God, the guy's running. How does he do it? I don't understand.
Maybe you've cracked it. Maybe he is part hamster. They do things differently in Dumfries.
They most certainly do. But yeah, I've very much taken to the boy in a huge way. And yeah, as I say, I agree with you. I think our best partnership right now is So and Riley, but Juanma's too good a player to sit on the bench the whole time. He'll come back into it as well. Mm-hmm. So and Juanma has worked.
Yeah.
But again, I have to completely agree with you. When they play together, there's someone not playing to their strengths there. And that's, we should be playing to maximise the strength of every player that we have, get the best team on the park, and yeah.
And so to complete this comprehensive, incredibly comprehensive review of our first 11 against Aberdeen that this has turned into, Osman So had a decent game.
Oh, that fucking flick.
Oh my word.
Oh my giddy aunt. I swear to God, I've watched that literally thousands upon thousands of times, just on the bus back through from Edinburgh yesterday. I just had it on repeat. It's a vine. It just kept playing. I couldn't stop looking at it. It was mesmerising.
Can't take your eyes away.
I swear to God, I don't know how he did it.
It's been a while since we mentioned the Hearts Argentina Twitter feeds on this podcast.
Yes.
But I've been meaning for weeks to mention. It kept on slipping my mind that his nickname for Osman So is D Osman So, which basically means Godman So.
Like that, yeah.
And he certainly showed it there, and throughout the game, like we say, him just playing off of Riley's work meant he could get into the positions that he liked. Led the breaks well, used his pace when he could open up his legs, particularly against Ash Taylor, who, while a fine defender, is not the quickest,
I think,
especially over the first 5 yards.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. I think, to be honest with you, Aberdeen, the two centre-halves, Taylor and Reynolds, actually, Reynolds is fast.
Yeah.
He covers a lot of ground, but he's probably one of the fastest in the Premier League. However, that 45 minutes was his Vietnam. He will never stop thinking about that time he came up against Osmond Sow at Tynecastle, because Sow fucking destroyed him. I had to look away sometimes. It was that embarrassing for the laddie. I was like, oh God, actually.
And then you looked right back because Osmond Sow was playing.
Exactly, yeah. I've got a sore neck. But yeah, I almost expected to look around and see Derek McInnes with a white towel. Just throw it in.
Stop the fight! Stop the fight!
No, it's like he'll take off Reynolds and just put on a white towel, because he would have done a fucking better job. He might have tripped over it or something. He absolutely destroyed him. His running, his strength against him as well. And like from the Aberdeen fans that I speak to, Reynolds, when he comes up against a physical striker, a guy who's got a bit of pace but a bit of strength as well, he crumbles like a soggy biscuit.
So having covered all the most important factors of the game, there was a goal.
Yeah, after like 2 minutes. This podcast is like 30 minutes in now.
But God, there was just so much to talk about. How brilliant. What a performance it was. What a comprehensive, complete, competent performance. Something we've been crying out for most of the season.
I'll level with you, listeners. This podcast has been crying out for a performance like that this season. It's not as easy as we make it look. But yeah, it was... what a performance. But we were on top of them right from the start. We had one corner before the goal, I believe. Possibly even 2 corners before the goal. Like, we basically, from kick-off, got a corner.
We had so many corners. I think by the end of the first half, the corner count was like 10-1 in our favour.
Good lord, yeah. But one of the opening corners, I think it was the second corner. Sam Nicholson, I think on the TV they said it was well structured. Sort of corner routine. You didn't quite agree. I do. Like, I think I don't think the plan stretched further than stick it to the back post and try and get it back in the mixer. Yeah, that's maybe where I slightly disagree, because the positioning of Rossi, Riley, Usturk was at the back post, but Rossi, Riley and Augustine, Rossi, Riley and Patterson were all in the 6-yard box, and I think that's the perfect place to be for any knockdown from a header at the back post. I think they're meant to be there. It confuses the goalkeeper, it confuses the defenders, and then what happened, Ozturk bullied his way to that header. I don't even know who he won it off of, and Patterson drifted off the post.
You can't know him anymore. That's a non-person now, because Ozturk has just erased his identity from existence.
And Patterson, he's just got that striker's instinct that we have to thank Gary Locke for.
Sure, that's the reason.
That's who we're thanking. He drifted off and won the header near post. There was no Aberdeen players near him. I think it went over Willow Flood's weird fucking head and flew into the corner, and then he turned round and told the Aberdeen fans to shut the fuck up. And
as well he might, because they've been on his back for the entire game up to that point.
That entire
just relentless abuse.
Those 90 seconds. Those Aberdeen fans, honestly. But yeah, that set the tone for what was to be
set the tone for lots and lots of corners.
Yes.
Lots and lots of towering headers, mostly from Boaji Augustine after that, actually.
So is a man possessed?
He's possessed with neck muscles the size of a couch.
Yeah, he was winning everything that was coming his way, as he pretty much always does, be it defensively or in an attacking sense. But good Christ, he was tremendous, and we just got corner after corner after corner. Then Osmond Sow did that flick. Mind that time he did that flick in the corner?
Yep. Lovely.
I remember it.
So there's the kind of reason that we structured the show this way so far, because they're not, like, other than what we picked on so far, there aren't actually that many individual moments to pick out. It was just a general picture of glorious defensive competence and high tempo pressing and nice short passing as well in spells. It was just really great. It was like everything clicked.
Yeah, for the first time this season, everything clicked.
Yeah, I think the formation has a large factor to do that. As I said before, it kind of allowed all like those little partnerships, those little synergies, if you will, across the pitch to spark it to life. But generally, it was an attitude thing. Maybe that's because it's a cup game. There's something more tangible at the end of it, rather than just sort of playing for third or possibly second if Aberdeen just crumble now. Especially seeing how Danny Ward's had to go home.
He's quite good as well.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is good.
Did we get to keep him? No, we don't.
No,
he's not our player at all, is he?
No, he's not. He's not Aberdeen's player either.
Okay. So that means Jamie Langfield has to play again.
He plays for St Mirren, man.
That's probably better from Aberdeen's perspective.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Aberdeen do have a quality keeper on loan at Falkirk, Danny Rogers. But I think maybe assurances were made, and I'm not sure a recall is actually in his contract from Falkirk, so they're going to have to get Jason Brown back. Is that his name? Scott Brown? I've fucking no idea who Aberdeen are going to play in goals.
Mark Brown.
Yeah.
One of the Mark Browns.
Yep, maybe they'll sign Scott Gallagher.
Maybe.
Yeah. Fuck it. You're welcome, Aberdeen. You're welcome. He was released today, by the way, hence why that's a thing.
Yeah, hence why that's possible.
Yes, absolutely. I think I mentioned after the Aberdeen game, the Celtic game, that we played to our own strengths. Mm. We hadn't worried too much about the opposition, and that's now happened again. And I'm beginning to get a feel that Nielsen's got a wee hang of this whole big game thing. So, I mean, I can't think of any big games that are now coming up in the next month.
Certainly not in the similar competition to the one that we've just played.
No, I don't think so. We got East Kilbride, didn't we?
No, it was the other lower league team that we got.
Annan.
Not quite.
It was Hibs! We got Hibs!
We're going to kill them! I mean, I hate to get, full of hubris and things like that, but we're going to fucking murder them!
This is when we'll see the difference between me and Nicol, because I've never predicted a murdering against Hibs, and I never fucking will, because it's done me pretty well so far. We got them Hibs in that cup.
Them Hibernian. Oh,
yes.
How many years in a row is this going to be now? 274?
274, I believe it is, yeah. Since before football was even a thing.
Yeah.
Did you know, this I found out a really fun fact, the last time Hibs won the cup, tea bags had not been invented. That's my new favourite, I think.
But
either pencils.
But teabagging had.
Yes, very much so.
They just didn't know what to call it. Actually, no, it was called teabagging, and the bags for holding tea were named after the public school prank.
You're just rewriting history here. It's great.
Well, that's what made the empire great,
isn't it? To get back to my previous point, that is another test. The next test, maybe a 3 in a row of big games for Nielsen to get it spot on, because it looks like he's getting it spot on now.
Yeah, which is nice.
It's lovely, isn't it? And then, what happened at the end of the game?
Oh yeah, we forgot to touch on that. Oh, it was delicious. Delicious tears, delicious frustration.
The only thing that I've watched more than Osman So's flick is Callum Patterson binning Johnny Hayes after they didn't give us the ball back, and it is just fucking great. They're still scraping bits of Johnny Hayes out of Section G.
I think there's a smear of it next to where Neil Lennon left a mark on the advertising hoardings.
Yes. Oh my god, it was just what a tackle. What a man. I love Callum Patterson. I hope he never leaves, but he will.
He definitely will.
Yeah.
But it was just so on the card from the moment where they took an attacking throw from us, knocking the ball out of play for the injury to Alexander.
Ozturk had cramp, and Derek McInnes claimed that he was faking it, and he didn't have cramp. And that's why he gave the instruction for the ball not to be given back to Hearts. Johnny Hayes was actually lining up to give it back to Alexander, but then the instruction got relayed from Reynolds onwards. I saw the whole chain happen, and Johnny Hayes was like, right, okay. And then David Goodwillie reacted. He tried to throw it to him. David Goodwillie's pish, and it bounced back to Johnny Hayes. And I honestly, I pretty much saw it from the moment that Johnny Hayes looked like he wasn't going to give us the ball back. Callum Patterson was just...
Well, the normally calm, considered Callum Patterson, he takes slights like this in his stride.
Absolutely.
With genuine humour.
Yeah, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. I could just see him waiting for the perfect opportunity to just smash Hayes against whatever surface there was available.
And I like the fact the referee went, that's completely fair play.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give you a yellow, mate, but that's just because someone's watching from me in the stand. It was just beautiful. And it's the fact that not even any Aberdeen players went up to Patterson after to say, what you doing, mate? They just went, I kind of deserved that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Derek McInnes, I mean, he is both a fully trained medical doctor, psychic, and able to make diagnoses from 50 or 60 yards. So, I mean, if he says Ozturk was faking, then it's absolutely correct.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
And you know, it's completely unreasonable to think a player that's played one full 90 minutes in the last 6 months might be cramping up at the end of a high intensity game.
Imagine that. It's just stupid. It's just daft.
Does not happen.
Nope, absolutely not. And his tears and stutters, which you heard from the man himself at the start of the show, has pretty much just sustained me for the past 2 days. I just consistently read his post-match interviews and think, God, I'm so happy that you're not the manager or a representative of Heart of Midlothian Football Club, because I fucking hate you, you half-bagged, half-baked wank bag.
And so we turn to songs. And well, there was many candidates this week, but one man who stands shining, clear and tall, because for the many things that he accomplished on the pitch, lots of attacking intent, lots of defensive solidity. I mean, he scored a goal, but most importantly,
he fucking killed Johnny Hayes.
and for that reason, chief among many,
yep,
Callum Patterson, step forward and take your tunes.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Robert? Do you want to be first or second this week?
It's really up to yourself, man.
Okay, I will attempt to go first.
Okay.
I've gone high tariff with this one.
Oh, okay.
I like C-Pats and I cannot lie. You other ballers can't deny. When Aberdeen control the throw and Johnny Hayes receives the ball, he gets done. And Callum gets tough, cause he notices that cunts are wuss, and Derek McKinnon starts greeting, cause the pirate hurt his feelings. Oh Callum, go rampage and claim another victim. So Jambos, yeah, is your right back scoring tons? Hell yeah! So tell him to snap that, dandy scum. C-Pats it right back.
Fucking hell, there's not even any point. There's not even any point in me attempting this. That's fridgy levels of good.
Oh, thank you, man. That's high praise indeed.
That is fridgy levels of good. Good lord, sir. I'm just going to shake your hand. It's shit for the radio, but my God.
Thank you very much.
Right, okay, well...
C-Pat's that right back, though.
Here's my horrendous attempt at a song. Punctured Hayes is left on the left wing, desolate. When Callum scored, McKinnis just wept. He's got a shite moustache. It's Patterson. His tackles are fulsome. He's almost too handsome to play. Na 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 na. It's Patterson. Wah! A pumped up ball of rage. He never knew his place. He played up front or wing, but now he plays right back these days. It's right back where he destroyed Hayes. He fucking flattened that cunt Hayes. Bit of Smith's for you there.
That was lovely. Thank you very much.
No problem, man. Nothing on yours.
No.
I should have gone first.
I've won again. Is that 2 in a row?
That's 2 in a row for you, man.
Fucking in there.
Yeah, if only we did some sort of tally over a season to see who won nothing.
That's absolutely not happening.
Nope.
But you know, I'm hitting form just at the same time as Hearts.
Yeah.
It's working well. Okay, we'll be back next week, hopefully with guests.
Yes.
Hopefully something will happen.
Yep.
In the meantime, if you want to find us, do it on Twitter. We're all over Twitter.
Yeah, we're at We Have No Cares.
That's where we are.
I'm also at RF Borthwick if you want
where
to.
am I?
You're at Nicol Hay.
That's correct.
Yep.
We've got an email address, wehavenocares@gmail.com. We have a Tumblr, which is wehavenocares.tumblr.com, and we have what else have we got? Lives outside of football, I suppose.
No cares, I suppose.
Well, also those.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was an enjoyable day on Saturday.
Wasn't it? It's going to be an enjoyable day on the 7th, probably, of February.
Yeah, sure. That day. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Steve Crawford.
I'm gonna knock you out. Mama said knock you out.
Oscar's arriving on the scene.